Good more good morning. Good morning, United Kingdom. Good morning to the Lakhi Singh drive time session, 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every morning with the alternative business and properties community. Good morning, Lakhi Singh. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. You sound energized. You sound full of energy, which is good. First thing in the morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. with your Lakhi Singh, the mover, the rover, the groover, the sloover. Is that a word? The sloover. I think what I meant to say is the smoocher. That's probably the right one. Say smoocher. Smoochy Lakhi Singh. Lover man. The man who's made the square mile fall in love with him. A man who's got his long fingers everywhere across the square mile body. How are you doing, sir, this morning? Top of the morning to you. How you doing?
Good morning, sir. How are we doing?
Yeah, you sound very energetic, sir, this morning. Looks like the Healy has been switched off.
I'm always in good energy, don't worry.
You are always in good energy, don't worry. That sounds extremely comforting. So, Lakhi Singh, what's the weather like there in the southeast in London?
Well, we had an amazing day of snow yesterday.
Excellent. Snowing.
Yesterday was. Today it's quite a crisp morning. Sun is out.
Is it snowing? Is it actually snowing as in heavy snow or just very light, drizzly snow with a bit of rain mixed in? So you just got the right a bit of sludge around to make you feel like it's winter.
It snowed yesterday.
It's what?
It snowed yesterday, not this morning. So
Okay.
heavy snow yesterday. About
Wow.
inches of snow.
Was that expected?
It must have been. I think. But I haven't. I wasn't. I actually went for a jog and it started snowing, and I got caught in the snow.
You got caught in the snow.
Yeah.
So is that the same as when you normally say I'm snowed down or snow down? Were you snowed down yesterday?
Yeah, I was literally in this.
Excelente. So how many inches snow have you caught on your turban?
It was about at least a couple of centimeters of snow on my turban, so to speak.
So has the snow frozen over? Is it still around or is it all melted now this morning?
It's all melted away now. You've got some remnants of it in the car.
Excelente. And so where do you see the weather going, Lakhi Singh, this week? Is it going to get snowier? Going to get worse?
I don't know actually. I haven't really had a chance to keep up with the weather. I'm quite busy making moves.
Okay, making moves. Yes, Lakhi Singh, as always, making moves in the city. Right, we were going to have a guest on this morning, a lady by the name of Claire. I think she's been on maybe once before. I'm not sure, but unfortunately, she's had some sad news. Somebody in the family has passed away. I think I've been told it's father. Sincerest commiserations from the drive time with Lakhi Singh from everyone. Very sorry to hear that. I hope only words we can offer at the moment, but we hope everybody feels better about it. And I hope it wasn't anything to do with the virus. Because I think most people now, first thing they think is someone's passed away. This virus. I hope it wasn't. I hope he, had a normal situation. As you would expect somebody not all of a sudden, because I think the biggest thing that you got in the virus is that people literally overnight, they are from normality, they go into hospital, into ITC, and then from ITC, that's it. They've gone. And I think that's the shock effect of the virus. It's not just catching the virus and knowing you've got the virus. It is actually the speed with which those people who pass away. Is that not right, Lucky? Isn't that the shock effect in it?
Yeah, I think it is a very. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
You can hear me okay, can you?
Yep.
Yeah, I think the shock of it is quite high. I think it's COVID-19 deaths. I think they're getting quite very common now, so people are beginning to accept the reality of it.
So, look, the question of this week is top 5 tips for acquiring a buy-to-let mortgage, and not just getting a buy-to-let, but getting one which is 100%. Is that correct? 100%. You get a full funding. It's quite unique, but I'm sure Lakhi Singh has got some explanation behind the type of solutions he's got, where people can buy properties for commercial purposes at 100%. Must be a unique product out there. And obviously, the second saying of the week is, what's the second saying? The second one, which is more motivational, Mr. Motivator type. Dreams don't come true unless you don't do your hard work for them. Something like that. Is that right? No. Dreams don't come true unless you. Yeah, that's right. Dreams don't work unless you do. So a dream normally is working. Well, I don't know what that means, but I understand what it means. It means you will not see your dreams come true, which is probably the right way of saying, unless you don't work for them. So the way it's been put is, dreams don't work unless you do. So you've got to work for your dreams. So Lucky, first I'm going to ask you the question. Do you agree you have to work for your dreams, or aren't dreams things that happen in your, when you're asleep and you don't have to do any work, you just get up and it comes true? Isn't that way a dream comes true?
I think it's meant to be a metaphor, meant to be taken literally as a dream when you're sleeping.
Oh, I'm asking you, yeah. I mean, you know me, I'm a bit thick when it comes to these clever sayings.
I can only assume that. I can't assume anything else.
What? You can assume it's a metaphor.
Yeah, for somebody, but somebody that wants to achieve something.
Okay, so we're about 200 shy of the 2,000 members now. We're nearly getting to the grand number of 2,000 again. Like we did at 1,000, I think we're going to be giving some offering at 2,000. I don't know exactly what's been agreed, but we will have it out on the group, I think. Is that right? We're going to have it out as a banner on the group to let anyone know who the 2,000th member will be. Will be given some form of a gift voucher, I think, or maybe some special gift from Lakhi Singh, the alternative business and property communities expert. So yeah, Lakhi Singh. So dreams only work if you do. So I understand it's a metaphor for dreams, means targets. In that regards, people got an objective, a target. We're talking about keeping positive during lockdown, focusing and trying to take out the positive from the environment around you. How many weeks have we got left until lockdown, Lucky?
I think there's talk that it's going to continue in March. I think there's talk that
right. So it's continuing until March.
I haven't really kept the tabs of
Yeah.
I haven't really kept the tabs of when the lockdown finishes because I've sort of switched off in the press a little bit, so it's like become too much of a repeat. So I've decided to just keep it repeat and opens when it opens.
Okay. Well, I think that's probably one of the advice you've given people is not to get too obsessed about what you can't do. You have to concentrate on what you can do. And what you can't do is guess what the government's going to do. But you can do that. You can guess what you're going to do. Is that right, Lakhi? Is that the way to treat it?
Well, that's where I'm decided to treat it. So, I haven't even had a chance to keep up with when it opens. But a lot of the information I'm getting is from talking to people about what's going on. So as soon as it opens, I'm sure I'll find out about it because talk to maybe 20, 30 people in one day.
So you're a bit like the Freeman of lockdown, yeah?
Sorts, yeah.
Yeah. So you've come back on parole many times and you just basically decided to tell them, cut the bullshit out. You know, I don't really care what happened. All I know is that I am managing myself. Is that what you're doing?
Up to a point, yeah.
Yeah. So when you find that there is hope in that you don't think about the long term in lockdown and you just take a day at a time, are you keeping a video diary of some kind of what's happening?
No.
And are you sort of talking to the people on the network, letting them know how you're feeling and how other people are feeling too?
Up to a point. I think I probably need to do a bit more of that, but I think too busy feeling what I'm feeling to be sharing it somewhat because it's been because I think I probably had the chronic fatigue after COVID-19 when I had it last year.
Yeah.
So I'm just make sure that any
Don't get
remnants
it.
of my body are literally taken out. So I've just been focusing on health really and well-being. Sorry?
Excellent. Do you just concentrating on keeping fit?
That's right. So I actually went for a run in the snow yesterday because I made it an objective to maybe really focus in hard on the health. And today I'm heading to the gym as well. Got a small gym for one person only, so it makes it easier for me to get my exercise in.
Do you get lots of heavy breathing in the gym and perspiration?
I try not to do too much of that.
Do you end up
I try to make
breathing?
it effortless.
Pardon?
I try and make it effortless.
You try to make it effortless. So what are you doing in the gym then? A single gym?
So pistol squats, lunges, tricep sort of triceps, sort of stomach sort of sit-ups, sort of various types of sit-ups.
You've got
And
6-pack now, Lakhi Singh. Have you got a 6-pack?
yeah, definitely.
You've got a 6-pack now?
Yeah.
Excelente. So, right, okay, so how
I don't
does
really
that
want
correlate?
to. I don't really want to show off on family show.
All right, okay. So, okay, so you don't want to show them off on the family show. Right, okay. So, what are the 5 tips then to acquire 100% buy-to-let property? Tell me one tip.
Okay, the first tip is that you need to try and buy the property at a good discount.
Excelente, excelente. So get the property discount. What does that mean? Let's try and work out what that actually means. So we're trying to drill down into detail of what that means. You're saying a property at this present time and market is worth, what is it worth, and how do you get a discount? Because you're saying, we were talking about it last time, there's no real value, everything's in flux, everything keeps moving. So what is the real value of something?
Well, you have to try and work with the indicators that are there, so you can't necessarily worry about how it's going to differ. So let's take a 2-bed flat in let's say an area of London, like Belsize Park or that sort of area, or near Hampstead. Let's say ex-council or thereabouts would probably be worth about 500. And if you want to optimize the purchase, I've had situations where certain people, they've come to an end of a bridge, they bought a property, but they've had to refinance and take money out. So property that maybe 2-3 years ago, when they put the finance in, might have been worth 5 or 500. Now they were trying to sell it and they couldn't sell it for whatever reason because it was in such a good condition. They were probably 450 for a long time. It's been in the market. So cash buyers approached them, so they're willing to go down to 400 because they wanted to get out the bridge. Otherwise, we will take it over and sell it for a lower price. So that is an example of a discount. But it's where the vendor, the seller, provides a solution to, the buyer provides a solution to the vendor, and there's a perfect match. So it's not always the case that you're going in with stealth. Sometimes people are stuck and need money quickly. They might want to leave the country because they've got to get out by a particular date to meet the requirement. Then maybe they've got HMRC issue, they don't pay up. They've got to put a bill, and they may have some credit or probate matter, and they need to sell quickly, so their money's going to be dispersed. It could be another reason. It could be a couple that are separating and they both need outs and for whatever other project they've got. So they need to put a time with which they need something done. So all these things are quite common, and where you can negotiate a good deal from a buyer's point of view. It's that common, so it's just a question of it might take, if you're out there and that's all you're doing. A lot of people work as sources and actually find these sort of deals, and then they flip them on to other people and make money that way as well. Producer. So first point is, find properties which you can negotiate a good deal on. That will give you the potential of getting closer to 100% mortgage.
Excellent. Right. Okay. So getting 100%, it still doesn't take away the fact that if you got a discount, you bought something, say, worth $1 million. Okay, let's not say $1 million because that's probably not going to be in most people's range. Let's say you got something that's worth 100,000. Yeah. Now, worth 100,000 is a relative thing. Let's suppose that's what somebody will be willing to pay for it at this present time. You're getting a discount of, say, 20,000. Perfectly fine. So you're getting at 80,000. It's worth 100,000. What about the mortgage then that's on that property? Does that affect the discount you can get, or can you get a discount irrespective of whatever the outstanding mortgage is?
Yeah, the mortgage. If the mortgage on the property is 80, and you want to buy it for 70, it's very difficult to try and get a seller to negotiate with their bank. But obviously, that's more to do with negative equity. So we also have solutions around that as well, where we can negotiate for the vendor with a vendor a sale price that can also be agreed with the bank as well, so that their debts can be written off. So we've also got a solution for negative equity write-off. But
Hey,
but that would be aside, from today's topic.
okay. So while we go through the topic today, we've got a shout out from Marsha, one of your favorite listeners, Lakhi, Mr. Malhotra, and all saying, giving a big shout out and saying hello to you, Lakhi Singh. Right.
Hello.
Okay. So, yes. Was that like a shout out, or was that like a?
That's me shouting out.
Okay. Well, that was more like like a sound of pain or something. But right. Okay. So yeah. So you got negative equity that could be effective. So what you're saying is, even if the property's got a debt of 90,000, you could effectively try and get that property at 80,000 for them. Is that what you're saying, sir?
That's right. Yeah.
Excelente, excelente. So if you're getting the property at 80,000, let's suppose we don't go into the details of how you can negotiate that £10,000 negative equity. How are you going to still get 100% property? Because the valuation is going to happen. They're going to come out with, right, this property is worth, like it's worth 100,000. You can get a value done and whatever. The mortgage has to be with a deposit of 25%. 75% is the ratio. How are you going to get 100% mortgage, Lucky?
Are we talking about the reduction against the debt, or are you talking about the percent funding of two different topics?
Well, we're saying that your example is £100,000 is a market, it's a value that somebody's willing to pay for it. You got the seller who's saying to you, I'll give it to you, come on, my brother, I'll give you to £80,000. You take this property. You say, right, I'm going to take the property at 80,000. You realize that the bank is still owed 90, but we're not going to put that on the table. We say, right, okay, there's some special way you can convince the bank to let you buy it at 80. How are you still going to get 100% finance? If you're buying at 80, then are you saying you're going to get the financing for the full 80,000 and they're not going to ask you to put a deposit in of at least 20%? So you should be getting the property at 64,000 with a 20% deposit. How are you going to get it at 100? How are you going to get it at 100%?
I think you just created this scenario, which I think is unnecessarily sort of complicated. So I think when you're selling a property, you're buying a property, you're not looking at people's debts or their mortgages. It's a usual negotiation. That's quite an unusual situation. I think we're trying to focus in on, when you're trying to get 100% funding, what are the 4 or 5 key substructures for actually negotiating that? I mean, negative equity is one situation, but I wouldn't say it's a standard one which you'd be looking for to try and find yourself a deal to get 100% funding, because that's going to be too complicated for anybody out there trying to actually negotiate a deal like that. They're not going to have the expertise or knowledge with dealing with the bank to try and negotiate that.
Okay.
So there'll be a long-winded discussion on behalf of the seller to open up to them about that type of thing anyway. So I don't think that's going to be a tip that I'd give actually necessarily to people to try and do that. It'll just, but if they did want to do it, then they can always talk to us, and we're happy to walk them through that particular tip and actually get them a negotiation. So that's what
we've got 3 love hearts coming to you, Lucky. We've got 3 love hearts listening into you, to your words very intensely. Okay, 100% finance then. How do you get it then? How are you going to get that?
So first tip was a discount. Second tip is getting properties that have some potential for value add. Yeah.
Value add, explain that. That's like a statement. We don't understand what that means. What does that
So,
mean, value add?
if you, let's say you're getting a flat in the example I gave earlier, that says you're buying a flat that's a one-bed flat in a good area in Fulham or something. Let's say you can pick up the one-bed flat for 500, but there's potential of converting it into two because it's got enough. It's got the ability to change it to two-bed flat in the lease. It's got the right sort of measurements to make it look like a decent flat, and you can also make some other changes with the bathroom, etc., to maybe create an ensuite. So, so basically, the other thing you can do is buy something for the 500 and spend £30,000 in doing 30,000 to 40,000 pounds in doing the conversion. About 200 two-bed flat may actually sell for a lot higher price at say 700. So you're going to be making a nice, clean, tidy sum. The proviso that you do your research and you understand what the resale market's going to be for that size of flat and the quality of flat as well. But the higher the area that you go into, the higher specification you have in certain areas, the bigger increase you get in the value. But that doesn't always work for like lower quality property areas. But
What you're saying is, if you try to kit out a property with central air conditioning and remote censored and fingertip recognition doors and all that in a council estate, it's not going to make it any more valuable than it is at the present time. Is that what you're saying?
Not quite saying that, no. I'm saying that adding that value, but adding those actually creates a higher value in the top end property. Adding extra peripherals, extra features, or things that are going to appeal to your target audience is going to increase the value of your property that you're buying and refurbishing.
But you're making a point. You can't really do that in an area that's not that well defined. But my example then, doesn't that make sense? That if you're going to spec out your property, pardon?
I was talking about a high-end property. Yeah, you're right. For a lower-end property, you're not probably going to get sort of value by putting in sort of funky things because the value is going to stay very much. Yeah.
So no one's going to get you value. No one's going to give you more money for the property if you start putting in funky things, especially if it's in a a normal or a below normal area. What you're saying is you can put funky things in, but in a high end area, in a high sort of value area, you put funky things in. Even there must be a ceiling. Or do you think the values can go up unlimited? Can you have a property which is worth 5 million and have one next door worth 10 million? Is that possible? Or doesn't indexing force the property values to stay about in one level?
It depends on the area. I think you can't have that disparity.
Well, that's the question I'm posing, Lakhi. I'm saying you have an area that is high end, let's say central London, the square mile where you roam, and you set your abode basically where you are, where you hunt, where you scavenge and roar in the evenings to let everyone know that you're here. Square mile, got an average asset there worth about say 30 million. Now you can put all the gadgets in you like and spec it up all you like. The property in that area or properties in that area are going to be around that mark. They're not going to have a property which is worth 30 million jump up by 10 million because you put all these wonderful gadgets in it. doesn't indexing work there as well, Lucky? Or are you saying in a place like the square mile, the more you put in, the more you get out?
What happens is, yeah, the more you put in, the more you get out, I think is the general principle. So it's very difficult to compare the jumps unless we look at particular properties. So the jump may not be so big for similar properties in a block with flats in it, but the jump may be more significant in sort of very top end roads and things. Certain roads in Hampstead, I think, is a well-known road where everything actually goes up in price by tens and 20s of millions from one house to the next.
Yeah. Wow. Another life altogether, another world, I think, Lucky Singh. A world and a life that is beyond our imagination, I reckon. Anyhow, so you've got the second point is value add. Value add, we've understood, is like uplifting the property by either sticking something on, sticking something in, or putting something out. So what's the next tip then? Third tip, sir, to get a 100% mortgage on a buy-to-let.
The third tip is really having some sort of financial function for raising finance in a particular way, because when you're purchasing on a bridge, particular types of bridge that allow you to purchase on the market value, but you might be buying it at a discount, so that will give you 100% funding. So instance, buy the property for the value is 500, but you're picking up the property for 350 in the purchase price. But certain bridging companies will give you the lending on the value of the asset, not on the purchase price.
Yeah. Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? What does that mean? What's the difference? I want to purchase something at $1 million. Market value is 700,000. Are you saying I can buy it at $1 million? Isn't that a disadvantage to me? Hello, can you hear me?
Just give me 1 second. I'm just
yourself. Pardon? What do you say?
Just give me 1 second. I've got to park the car up. So I'll just have to pop out. So you need to give me 2 seconds. Yeah?
Okay. So you are operating from your vehicle today. You need to park up and pay for your parking. Right. As we wait for Lucky to come back, we'll talk about the fact that your dreams will work if you work. What does that mean? How does your dream work? Don't dreams happen while you're asleep, in the comfort of your bed, tucked under your blanket, in a nice warm bed, thinking about lots of lovely things? Have a sleep. That's your dream. That's why it's called a dream. How can you work at a dream? I've never been able to make my dream work for me. Can you imagine a dream working for you? Or are you saying work towards achieving your goals? Is that the right way of saying it? I think that's probably the right way of saying it, that you'll work to achieve your goals, and the goals will only be achieved if you work according to the level of the goal. You need to put the effort in to achieve your goals. Dreams are things that happen while you're asleep, and they are unlimited. Right, Mr. Malota says, isn't getting a 100% mortgage risky? Shouldn't you really have some money in the game? Shouldn't you really be putting some deposit down. Oh, look, if the market is buoyant, if things are going upwards, getting 100% mortgage is perfectly fine, because by the time you go to reevaluate that asset, the natural market fluctuations upwards will have created a deposit. They will have created some equity in that asset. So I think it depends on where you are in the cycle of the market. Now, if the market is still on a spiral downwards or in a flux, as it is at the moment, or you're not really sure what the value is, then I think 100% mortgage, yes, is a bit risque. Because you may have 100% mortgage and you may find you end up negative equity to the bank even before you've even tried to liquidate it. But if you're at the rock bottom of the market, so you know there's only one way up with the property prices, they can only go up, they can't go any further down, otherwise they'll be less attractive. Well, the probably packet of chips will be more expensive than a property. Then you've only got one way to go, and that's up. And then I think getting 100% mortgage is perfectly fine without putting any money down, because your natural market rise will create the equity. And that's an ideal position. It's like doing business without your own money, I think. That's what it's called. It's clever business. That's why they say in property that the profit you make in property is at the purchase price. So when you purchase a property, if you bought it at the right price, you will always stand to make money, because there is only one way, and that is up in property when you buy them at the right price. If you bought them at the wrong price, then you have trouble. You have problems that you have to address. Yes? Because we don't have Lucky to acknowledge my yes, I will say yes to myself. Yes, VJ Sal. Yeah, I think you're very clever, VJ Sal. I think you're so clever. I think I understand the point. If you buy 100% at the bottom of the market, then you're only going to go up and you're going to create equity. Is that what you're saying, VJ Sal? Yes, that's what I am saying. I'm trying to make you understand, VJ Sal, that properties only make money at the purchase price. You buy them at the right price, you will make money. You buy them at the wrong price, you won't make money. Now, it goes back to our saying, and that is, your dreams will work only if you work for them. So, Lakhi Singh, you're back. Have you had a argument with the local warden? Are you in discussions with the warden about the car and the parking? Lakhi Singh, I think, is you vomiting? He's with the warden.
I'm just sorting out the parking. But anyway,
You're sorting out the parking with the warden.
That's right. I've got a habit of actually getting in arguments with the wardens. Actually,
You have changed, Lakhi Singh. You are trying to become logical with an illogical community of wardens. Do you want me to have a word with him?
I think that could be really handy. Actually. In fact,
Let me have a word with him. What's his name? They are busy trying to make money from the traffic parking. Must be very difficult for these wardens. There's not much money to make nowadays, is there? Hardly any cars being parked up. Is that right, Lakhi?
Yeah. So,
right, Lakhi Singh, 25th of January is very important, I think, for the Scottish community. Do you know what it is, Lakhi? Do you know what it is?
yeah, I know what it is.
What is it, Lakhi Singh?
Important day.
Pardon?
The Scottish community.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. You're just talking back to me. Are you an echo? Lakhi Singh. Burns night. Anybody know about Burns? We've got lots of followers up in the north. We've got, I think, I've forgotten the ladies. Forgot all the ladies' name up in the north. They're all the lovely ladies in the north. I forgot their names. You can try and get one of them in and tell us about Burns night. What does that signify? Okay, so the 25th of January is Burns night. Mr. Burns, Mr. Patrick Burns, I think his name was. Patrick Burns is the younger brother of Robert Burns, who was a Scottish poet, apparently, and they celebrate that night with lots of festivities and apparently lots of poems about Scotland. And I think they're probably a lot of his poems were possibly in Gaelic. I'm not sure. We'll find out if there's someone in Scotland watching us and listening to us now. If you want to dial in and tell us more about Burns Night, it will be exceptionally informative. I think it will be interesting to know if anybody knows what Burns Night is about. Lakhi Singh.
Just leave it there.
Yes, excelente. We've had a bit of advice come in from Rajesh Malhotra, the gentleman with a wonderful sense of humor. He says, Lakhi Singh, for you, if you get approached by a warden now, hand him an RAC membership, I think. Give him a free membership and tell him to get into networking and social and get a personality. I think that's what Rajesh is saying. Wardens need to get a personality. Lakhi Singh, what do you say? Do you have a personality? Lakhi Singh is not in communication. You are not in communication. Continue then. Working for your dreams. Right, that's the question. Work for your dreams. Your dreams need to work because you're working for your dreams. So in order for your dreams to work, you got to work. Let's take the word away, dream. Let's say your goals, your targets. Call them your dreams. Yep. You got to work for them. Isn't that what work is? How can that be something dreamy and ideal? Isn't that just materialism? How does that work? If work is work, how does a dream come out of work? Unless you set yourself targets. I think let's say that. We got Lakhi Singh back. Lakhi Singh, did you
Sorry about that.
Did you manage to beat the warden off? Have you become the Jedi Knight that I always thought you would be? Are you using the Force? Did you manage?
Yeah, I'm just trying to be
Pardon?
so careful, keeping getting fined.
Offer him an RAC membership because Rajesh said that you need to throw him an RAC membership and watch him turn his attitude. Was you trying to be aggressive with your Lakhi Singh?
No, I managed to fend him off. It's okay.
Well, maybe this is the time that you need to recognize that you are the Force. Lakhi Singh, you need to use your what's that thingy he's got? The the laser gun. You call the
Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker. Yeah, but you're Lakhi Singh.
The Jedi Knight.
The Jedi Knight. Pull out your what's it called now? The phaser or the staser. What do they call it?
Lightsaber.
The lightsaber. Did you cut up the warden with your lightsaber?
It's not my kind of thing.
It's not what?
That's not my kind of thing.
Not your kind of thing. Are you not the Jedi that I thought you were? You hit him with a dead knight.
No.
Say you what, Lakhi Singh? Did you not kill him with your saber?
No, definitely not.
You are not a Jedi.
Nope. Punjabi Sikhs, mate.
Okay. Are you where now?
I can't hear what you're saying. Say that again.
Are you where now?
I still can't hear what you're saying.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but I can't understand what you're saying. It's a bit of a difference.
Okay. I'm talking like the little green man. What's his name? In the Star Wars.
I can't remember his name now. Yoda or something?
Remember not your name. Do you remember that little green man?
Oh, yeah. It reminds me of you.
Yes, I think I was heading for that one. Anyhow, Lucky Singh. So we're coming back to the topic. Please tell us the fourth tip for purchasing a buy-to-let at 100%.
So I think we were discussing the finance. Did we cover that pretty much fully? Because I had to
Yeah,
sort
we
the car.
covered it off while you were away, while you were
Okay.
arguing and fighting with the warden. We've covered that. I'm asking for the fourth point now.
So the fourth point is really agreeing a structure with the vendor and actually having a good vendor relationship. So if you've got a vendor that's going to be willing and able to negotiate with you a deal, then you're going to be able to structure a deal where you can get 100% funding, because they may say to you something like, happy to knock this amount off, providing that they get what they want. They may have a requirement for a quick sale, so they may be willing to take money off. They may have a requirement for they may actually be happy to, give you, do something else in exchange to probably do a transaction to get a property.
That sounds a bit lewd, Lucky Singh. Why would they want to do something else for you to exchange the property? What do you mean by do something else? Trying to please us?
This area all comes down to negotiation. So if you basically, the main point is, the first tip is having an excellent sort of relationship with the seller. If you're somewhat agreed with the structure with them, then you could potentially get a very good discounted structure with them. As an example, if, for example, you could save yourself quite a lot of time. Seller, if it's a high value property, £2 million, if the seller is happy to put the property from his individual name into a limited company, you structure that for him. That means you can purchase the shares of the company, and if he's going to have a saving for you on your stamp duty, so that will also reduce your cost and gives you more of a chance of having 100% funding. So I would say that's one of the sort of type of negotiations you can have. The other type of negotiation you have is that there could be a significant CGT saving as well, if you're buying the property at a slightly lower value from the seller. So if you can give him proposals where you're going to get the property at a lower price, but there's a win-win for both parties, you could also offer. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm asking you a question. CG saving, what mean that?
Okay, so CGT is capital gains tax. So if you're purchasing and you can actually save them, they bought the property historically 20 years ago for $1 million, and they're now selling it for $2 million, they're going to have to pay 18 to 28% tax, depending on their circumstances, on the profit they're making. But if you could structure the deal, let's say for 1.5 million, which is a £500,000 discount, and put it into a limited company for them, reduce the stamp for yourself, and also reduce the CGT for them, because they're going to have to pay out at least 100,000 to maybe 100,000 plus on tax. If you can say give them 100k saving, and you can reduce the price down to 1.5, the way to structure that type of deal could be that if you're bringing value to the property, let's say it's a conversion, and you're going to sell it for a significant profit, you can give them a percentage of profits. So that reduces your cost of purchase and the amount of capital you've got to put into the property.
Okay, that makes sense. So, is it just lots of different formulas there you're juggling around? And obviously, it sounds like you're a bit of a tax expert. Gets very intimidating. I'm sure a lot of people listening getting sort of like dazzled by all these clever words you're using. So, how can they get access to this then? Okay, all well and good. How do the listeners, how do people on this alternative business and property solutions community group, how do they get access to these solutions or these various techniques to try and get 100% buy-to-let mortgage? How are you going to give that to them? What's the call to action? How do they get to access?
So number one is that we have access to a huge amount of off-market stock and also on-market stock on our platform that's being launched in the next few weeks. So they can pick it up from LPA properties, or if they're looking at high-end properties and their budgets in the hundreds of millions or tens of millions, then I also have another platform which is by private invite only. In fact, even the name is so private, I'm not even going to say it on here. It's abbreviated to CVC, but basically that private platform is only available by invite only, and it's very exclusive. And at the moment we've got 200 people on there who are ultra high nets worth more than $1 billion, and they get private access to the type of deals they want which match their requirement.
Okay, that's all well and good, Lucky, but how do the people, poor old me, humble me, in the middle and alternative business and property solution community who doesn't have access to £100 million worth of cash in my back pocket, how do I get access to all this exceptional knowledge? Does it work for the average man, Lakhi Singh? Can the average man apply this knowledge?
Yep. So we've also got a new platform called LPA Property.
Me here, you can.
Laurel Property Association.
Me here, you can.
Laurel Properties.
Pardon?
We've got another platform called Laurel Properties, on which we have a Laurel Properties. Get it? It's called Laurel Properties, on which we have Laurel Properties. Get it?
Yes. Laurel Properties. Me understand you can Laurel Property have. Does that make sense, Lucky?
Sale the property, the Laurel they have. Yeah.
That's more like someone just coming to an ESOL class. What can you please give me, please? We got lots of love hearts coming through today for some reason. Probably they're obviously admiring me, but I want.
I think what happened over the weekend is that when I ran in the snow, I also did some skidding in the snow as well, and I think people thought it's quite funny that they saw all the sliding marks on the snow after I've been sliding. So I think that was quite entertaining. And I managed to do that outside a Ferrari garage as well.
Very nice. Did you make a video of it, Lucky? Have you done a TikTok on it?
No, I put it on our about 9 platforms, so that went a bit crazy. Went viral on WhatsApp to about 30, 40 people.
30, 40,000 people have gone viral with it. Excellent.
I just kept it low key on WhatsApp to a few people, but when I started talking to other people, I said, "Have you heard about your video?"
Very nice. Very, very coincidental position. So, okay, to summarize today's conversation, obviously we again say sorry to the guest, Caroline. Caroline, was her name? Caroline? That's right. Who couldn't come on because I think she's had.
There's an interesting fact. I think somebody's on my lady called Benacia. She's actually put a video out. There's an interview with the owner of the virus from Pfizer or BioNTech, one of the companies, and they're interviewing him and they're asking him how come he's not taken the vaccine himself.
Very nice, very clever question. So what does he say?
He says he hasn't taken it, but it doesn't really come up with a plausible excuse. It all sounds very waffly, like I'm letting other people do it and all this sort of stuff. I'm 65 and I don't really have any issues. So it's almost. So I think I'm going to try and get that put out, but it's sort of in a format at the moment that can't be shared easily. So I'm trying to get.
He's a CEO of Pfizer, is he?
Say again, sorry.
Is he the CEO of Pfizer? Is he?
That's right.
Is he the CEO of Pfizer or is he the owner of Pfizer? He's the CEO or is he the owner?
CEO.
That's like
CEO.
One of the board members.
CEO. CEO.
CEO. Okay. So the CEO of Pfizer has admitted that he's not taken the antidote himself yet.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Suspicious sounds very, yes?
Kind of strange considering
sounds very.
he's actually produced a drug to give to the masses. I can't really see why he wouldn't be taking it. It's probably like it's like having producing coke.
Minutes 2 are left, Lakhi Singh.
Sorry?
Can we
I give you authority, yes.
What authority?
I think there's a you can hear me after about 30 seconds or something, is that right?
Up breaking you. 2 minutes.
I'll let you do the closing up because I don't think you can hear me that well.
Yeah, I will close up. So, to summarize today, your dreams can only come true if you work for them. That's really what we're saying. Work hard and set your goals. Make sure your dreams happen. And then you can't blame anybody else if you don't achieve your dreams. So do work hard and you will achieve your dreams. Everything else is hairy-fairy. How do you buy a buy-to-let? The 5 tips given by Lakhi Singh, very important, very poignant facts about how to buy buy-to-let. And we will see you tomorrow again at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. every morning, live with Lakhi Singh, the property fixer. And see you with the alternative property and business solutions community. See you tomorrow morning. Take care.